Okay, hi everyone. I am back. I just had to reset a few things here. We're gonna finish up this tutorial really quickly. And so we're gonna work on this last page here. Um, Warm colors, we're gonna write some things down first. Warm colors are going to be colors on the warm side of the color wheel. Okay. And then cool colors are going to be colors on the cool side of the color wheel. And I'll talk a little bit about what that actually means in a second. But warm colors are colors on the warm side of the color wheel, and cool colors are colors on the cool side of the color wheel. Okay? And then we've got an achromatic color scheme, and then we've got a monochromatic color scheme. So we'll just paint those, but these up here we will be painting in. Okay? So, warm colors, when I say they're on the warm side of the color wheel, I mean that they're colors over here. Oh, you can't see that. There we go. They are colors over here, okay, that are warm toned. When we think of fires, when we think of sunlight, when we think of things that feel warm, right? We're thinking of reds and oranges and yellows. You wouldn't paint a fire, right, with a bunch of greens and purples. You might add a little bit of blue because that's the hottest part of the flame, but that's technically not a warm color, okay? So the colors that we need to complete our warm colors are going to be red, orange, and yellow. So we'll start with some red. Paint that in. There we go. And then I'll wash off my brush, wipe it off. And I'm going to make a little bit of orange. Okay, so I'm going to take some yellow, take some red, mix those together. That's a pretty good orange right there. Add that in. Okay, and then I'm going to add my yellow, so I'm going to wash off my brush, dry it off, grab some yellow, and paint that in. There we go. And then cool colors is the other side of the color wheel. So if we look at the color wheel here, we can see these colors over here that would be associated. Ooh, again, you can't see. There we go. These are going to be colors on the side of the color wheel where there's cool tones. So purple, blue, and green are all cool tones, okay? We can think about, let's see, water, right? Using some blues, some purples, some greens to show water. Thinking about ice, okay? Thinking about things that, again, wouldn't be included in a flame is kind of what I think about. Again, except for blue. But blue kind of is more of an icy color, so we don't really think of that. So we're going to paint in purple, green, and blue. So we'll start, you know what, let's start with blue. I'm going to scoop up some blue. Paint that in, okay. I'm going to wash off my brush, dry it off, and we'll make purple next. Scoop up some blue, scoop up some red, mix those together. That's more of like a blue purple. Add a little bit more red. There we go. That's a good purple. Nice. Perfect. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Wonderful. And then we've got green. I'm going to dry off my brush here and add some yellow, and then add some blue. Okay, there's some green. These are like very watery. This yellow is kind of messed up. That's okay. There we go. Okay, add my green. There's our cool colors. Awesome. Now we're going to go for achromatic. Achromatic is going to be using only blacks, grays, and whites. Okay, so think about like an old television show. That would be in an achromatic color scheme because we're only using black and gray and white. So add a little bit of black first, paint that in. Okay, and then I'm going to make a gray. I'm going to mix a little bit of black with a lot more white than black, just to make kind of a mid-tone. And when I say mid-tone, I mean right in the middle, like a Goldilocks kind of tone, if you will. Paint that in. Oop, went totally out of bounds there. And then we've got white. I'm going to paint in the white just because, but you don't have to. Scoop up some white, paint it in. There we go. That is an achromatic color scheme. Achromatic, without color. Okay, so we've got our warm colors, we've got our cool colors, we've got our achromatic color scheme. The last one is a monochromatic color scheme. You can pick any color you want for this. I'm going to pick red, and I'm going to make 3 different hues, 3 different tones, I should say, of red, okay? And remember, tone means how bright or dark a color is, right? So I'm going to take some red, I'm going to put it in the middle here, just so we can kind of visualize this. Scooping up some red, putting it right here, and then I'm going to put a little bit of red here and a little bit of red here, okay? These are going to be the 3 colors that I end up adding, but I want to show you really what we're doing here. So a monochromatic color scheme only uses one hue and then uses different tones of that hue. So I'm going to add a little bit of black to my red over here on the left. And I mean like a little bit of black. Oof, that might have been way too much. I'm going to scoop up some more. You want like a dot of red. There we go. That's so much better. I just want it to be a little bit darker. And then I'm going to scoop up a little bit of white and add it to my color on the right to kind of make a pink. And that's why I like using red for this one, because I like making pink. I think it's so pretty. Reminds me of sunsets. Okay, and then you're going to paint these in the same way that you made them. Oh, you can't see that. Hold on. Let me move things around a little bit here. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to add my darkest color right here, my darkest red over here on the left. This is watery again. Damn it. It's okay. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to clean off my brush, dry it off, and I'm going to scoop up some red here. I'm going to add it to my middle box. That's, again, the mid-ground tone that we're using, which means it's just in the middle, Goldilocks tone, okay? And then I'll wash off my brush, dry it off, and then I'm going to scoop up my pink and add that in right here. There we go. So that's a monochromatic color scheme, okay? It's using all one color, right? We only used red, and then we added black and white to that red to make the rest of these colors, okay? So we've got our warm colors, we've got our cool colors, we've got our achromatic color scheme, and we've got our monochromatic color scheme. And that's where we are going to stop. Beautiful. Nicely done, everyone.